Hey guys, DopeOxide here, back with another video. So this video will be about why I really think that Tribally will most likely do 100x for me, and depending on the prerequisites and what I lay out, if those outcomes do happen, I really think that Tribally has great chances of doing 100x. And yeah, so this video will be just about why I really think Tribally is bullish. Of course, Tribally is a base native project, and I'm only covering projects on base. And the main reason is I really think a base chain will be the number one growing chain of this cycle, and that's just been my main focus. So without further ado, like and subscribe below. Comment down below which projects you want me to cover. Obviously, I'm only covering base native projects, and I'm only going to do that for the foreseeable future. I just think when it comes to risk to reward, base chain projects are the best way to go forward, because I really think that the base chain will most likely 10 to 20x in TVL as well as volume metrics. And to me, it's just a no-brainer. Like, you guys should be looking for the number one project of their niche. Example, Tribally is the best gaming platform that I really think is launching on base chain. And I've got like a few reasons why, and I'll cover in this video. So, first of all, what's Tribally? So Tribally is a gamify, GameFi, socialfi platform where pretty much like the main gist of it is there's games integrated on the platform, like Web3 games like Super Champs and other games like that. And the goal is to increase the customer acquisition and retention for gamers utilizing those games. So pretty much Tribally is sort of like a platform where it's the home battleground for gamers, and people that utilize Tribally while playing the games they like on Web3, they actually get extra rewards. And the business-to-business model is pretty much increasing customer acquisition and retention for games that plug into Tribally, and then users of Tribally, which are the gamers, they get extra rewards. So, first of all, why I'm so bullish on Tribally, the first thing is, like, Tribally is building on the base chain network, and I'm super bullish, and obviously you guys know I'm really bullish, and I want to go through like the thesis why. There's a lot of new users recently. Thank you guys for watching, and for the new users, obviously like and subscribe, and I'll be creating like more content around base chain. That's pretty much just been my niche and main focus for the past like 14 months. And I really think that base chain will do well. So I'm just covering you guys and creating content around top projects on base chain. There's no order of priority. It's just projects I really like, and it's all my opinion. None of this is financial advice. So do your own research when it comes to me recommending projects. But yeah, let's get right into it. So, base chain thesis. So, I really think that base chain will be the number one chain of this bull cycle, and the reasons are as follows. So, first of all, I really think that Coinbase will funnel their 100 million users from the Coinbase platform central exchange into the base L2 chain. And what's the reason for that? So, the main reason is they're actually incentivized to bridge users from their central exchange platform as well as Web2 users onto the base chain, because once a user gets on the base chain, Coinbase can like start actually making more revenue per user than if they were to like do normal transactions on the central exchange. So pretty much the main reason is like it comes down to their bottom line of making more cash per user, and on-chain is the way to go. So that's why they're really trying to build the on-chain economy and getting all liquidity on base chain, as well as getting as many users as they can. Another bullish thing about base chain is obviously Base is owned by Coinbase, so Coinbase is the largest custodial as the largest asset manager in the world, and Brian Armstrong is the spokesperson of base chain. When it comes to specifically Brian Armstrong, I really believe he'll be the CZ of this cycle, and what I mean by that is CZ last cycle was like a super big spokesperson. Every time he spoke about something, there would be a bunch of meme coins that come out, and he would pretty much just provide a lot of liquidity to the chain as he got so popular. And I really think that Brian Armstrong will get really popular at the end of his cycle, and the actions and words he say will most likely put more attention on base chain, and that's what we want. So basically, when I have like this comparison here, I like to compare base chain to BNB, because BNB was the biggest and fastest growing chain of last cycle, and I really think that base chain this cycle is the BNB of last cycle. And as you can see here, you can see on DeFi Llama, but basically BNB chain went from $0 TVL to 22 billion in a matter of 6 months. Base chain's at, like, according to DeFi Llama, like around 3.5 billion. And to be honest, like from here on, I reckon it'll do, in my opinion, like probably at least a 10x from here. So your goal should be is accumulating tokens that are high betas of base chain's adoption. And I guess this what this video is about Tribally. I really think that Tribally is probably going to 100x from specifically the pre-sale price, according to like the prerequisites involved. So obviously, I'll go down to like the micro kind of stuff, like what the project is about. But when it comes to the macro, base chain has to do really well. It has to 10x in TVL. Ethereum has to break all-time highs, and there has to be much more capital net flow into base chain for projects like I'm recommending to do these massive numbers. So that's sort of like the prerequisite. But when it comes to Tribally itself, I'm super bullish on it. They've been building for a long time, and I really think that when it comes to gaming retention and getting the attention from Web3 gamers, it's really important, and there's a lot of money to be made, because once the gaming meta kicks off, Tribally will be like established as one of the number one gaming platforms for games to actually integrate into, which will just create a really massive like network and just more value on the platform as more games get plugged into it and as the TVL increases for the platform. So one thing I want to share is the fundamentals. I can go on the website, but first of all, yeah, so the fundamentals, I guess one main thing is their first play to earn event. It actually drove 1000% in daily active users growth for the games that actually plugged into the platform. So just on that alone, there's going to be a lot more games plugging into the Tribally platform to start earning, like getting those rewards and getting more customers and acquisition, because Tribally is such a large powerhouse in the gaming niche that all base native projects as well as Ronin will most likely want to plug into Tribally, and that would just cause a massive network effect with that. Along with that too, they're doing constant weekly bets on different game outcomes and just betting on people in general. So that just shows how much use on the platform there is already. Disclaimer, these bets are actually free, but it's still good to know because it just shows how much use people are like, how much like the platform's actually getting used when it comes to its betting feature. Because the betting feature is a major part of how the tokenomics works, because I believe it's actually used for revenue share for staking the tribal token. Yeah, so another thing is the total 150,000 gamers. What I mean by that is, so far there's been over 150,000 unique players on Tribally, and that includes every single game that's plugged into the platform. And right now they've got a bit over just over 25 games plugged into it, or they're all Web3 native, and that includes base chain as well as Ronin. And yeah, that's like the main fundamentals. I'll also cover the rest in the other tabs. But another like base case thesis of Tribally is games need more daily active users, and Tribally solves that issue with challenges, quests, bounties, and battle passes. And they also have on-chain game betting, which I haven't actually really seen before, where you can actually bet on players in different games and bet on the winning outcome. And obviously, that's where it comes like the Gamblify kind of places in on this platform, where you can bet on people. And I really think when it comes to like the gambling meta, that is yet to pop off this bull cycle, and Tribally will probably get a lot of that attention, especially once base chain starts popping off. I'll go through the token section later, but I guess another thing is the Twitter's got a lot of mutuals. Like, to be honest, when it comes to like pages, I like to look at projects that have a lot of mutuals, and that just shows like the legitimacy of their socials, and they're probably not botting it. As you can see, over 50 people in my mutuals are following it, which is great to see. And yeah, so that's it. When it comes to the actual website, you can do multiple things. So obviously, once you create an account and log in, you can do challenges. So you can actually bet on people, and there's odds based on that. You can go to quests and bounties, and this is where the acquisition and retention comes from. So for quests and bounties, you can actually like earn specific like different rewards for doing specific quests for different games. So as you can see here on Duet Monsters, you can earn, I believe that's SLP token from Axie Infinity. You can actually earn tokens for doing different quests, and that's like the main, I guess, feature set for why and how Tribally is actually driving so many users to the games that are plugged into Tribally. Another thing is Showdown. This is the other betting feature I was talking about. So you can bet on people's winning outcomes and earn rewards from that. And Blessings is basically, it's basically just a casino machine where, slot machine, sorry, and you can burn tribal token for the slot machine, and you can earn like different skins and NFTs from that. And yeah, that's basically like the gist of the platform. The main thing is it's driving acquisition and user retention for games, as well as having a major like Gamble5 feature where people can come on here and actually bet on people. And nearly like every week they're hosting like major events for the gambling side. And as you can see here, you can actually just bet on people playing the game, which are obviously the smaller pool sizes because they're not monitored. So it tends to be the one like the weekly major events tend to get more volume as for the betting. And yeah, they got a leaderboard system that's for, I assume, for people actually playing the games that are plugged into Tribally. And they got an upcoming staking feature, so I can cover that now. So let me actually here, sorry. So we can cover the staking feature here. So first of all, Tribally, the token actually isn't out yet, and I guess that's why one thing I probably recommend is if you guys are gonna purchase into it, like my recommendation and like in my opinion, like 2.8 million circulating market cap for this project of this caliber is quite low. But the thing is, like with token pre-sales coming at 100% unlocked, I wouldn't be surprised we get like a brief dip below the pre-sale initial market cap. So when it comes to investing, and like personally myself, I'll most likely be buying at the pre-sale price, but having a bag to buy the dip later on, because obviously there's a lot of volatility, and depending how well the launch goes, we might see the market cap briefly go below the initial market cap, and I would be heavily buying the dip then. But obviously at the end of the day, 2.8 mil for a project on Base Chain that's the leading gaming platform on Base, 2.8 mil is cheap as. Obviously the FTV is quite high, but I'll show you in later on in the video why the FTV isn't actually something to be worried about, just because the vesting is super long, and I can cover that later. But yeah, so this is like the main feature set of Tribally. So 140,000 gamers. I think that's 150,000 plus now. That's old. Bets placed. Disclaimer, 1.5 million bets. Most of them are free bets. But like I said, it just shows the network effect it has, and people are willing to like just participate in the platform. So when it comes down to like participation, it's not just volume, but it's just the amount of unique people actually using the platform, which is great to see. That the tribal token, which is obviously the main thing we want to see, what's the use of it. So the tribal token will be able to be staked, and staking the token will actually yield a USDC. And the main thing where you can actually yield the USDC from is from the betting model. And so basically, like if you stake your tribal token, you'll actually start earning USDC from people gambling and betting through the game side of Tribally. So obviously that's really good because you're pretty much like the house of the platform, where people betting on the platform. Obviously, if you're a bettor and a gambler, you're always going to be on the losing side, and the house always wins. So in this case, the house is the tribal stakers, and they will generally always like win, aka get like yield from in the long term. So I find that's a really good use case for that. And obviously the speculation involved when it comes to partnerships and games getting integrated to Tribally. Obviously we'd like to see like really top games plugging into Tribally, which will just increase the network effect of Tribal. As you can see, like the case studies involved. So when they did events for specific games, the daily active user growth went up by like around 1,000%, and the floor prices for different game NFT collections went up by 200%. So that just shows like the Tribal platform has actual utility and is good for games plugging into the platform. And in my opinion, just because of that alone, the token probably has a really good use case, and the platform's utility will obviously increase the net value of the token. So the Tribal public sale, I believe it's happening December 5th. And the good thing I really like about the Tribal token pre-sale is 100% of it is unlocked to TGE. And I believe the market cap is it's selling at 5 cents per token, Yeah, so the token's gonna be 5 cents, and the FTV is gonna be 30 mil for the public sale. But because I'm working with the team and showing you guys the project, I actually have a discount down below that actually gives you a 10% discount on the token price. So you can go to the link in the bio and invest how much you ever want. But obviously, disclaimer, like, I would not be surprised the price briefly dips below the pre-sale price. But like I said, the initial market cap is quite low. So I like personally, I'm going to be buying into the pre-sale at this price, but I would not be surprised, and I do expect to buy the dip later on, because it tends to be like major volatility when it comes to day one, especially because yeah, there's going to be a community airdrop on day one, and it's most likely the community might sell their tokens, which might actually drop the price down below the initial market cap. So yeah, I guess that's the major details for the project. Yeah, another thing is about the token. So 30 mil is the public launch, which is 5 cents per tribal. But if you purchase and deposit in the pre-sale through my link, it's actually 0.045 per tribal. And the main feature of tribal is you can stake it for USD yield, and that is fueled by the on-chain wagering, aka the betting that happens on the Tribally platform. And yeah, so I guess that's a big TLDR. When it comes to when it comes to the release schedule, so the reason why I said the 30 mil FDV, which is where is that? The 30 mil FDV isn't actually too high. If you go to the vesting schedule, like all the tokens get vested in 2029. So, and as you can see here, like, there isn't too crazy of emissions, even going down to like Q3 of next year. So, I don't really like looking at the FDV total supply, because when it comes to the bull cycle, at least, like, obviously you're going to be taking your profits, and the bull market won't last forever. So even at worst case, the bull market lasts until like Q4 of next year, the emissions isn't too crazy, and most likely the amount of capital net flow going into base chain and going into Tribally will probably outweigh the emissions for the next 12 months. So yeah, that's like a little disclaimer and my reasoning and justification why the FDV shouldn't be really looked at. That's the same thing as like Aerodrome and other tokens, where the FDV is crazy, but if you look at where you'll probably hold your tokens and hold, as well as like the amount of emissions and the capital net flow into base chain, it definitely like outweighs that and isn't a big deal. So yeah, so I guess that's everything. I guess yeah, like final disclaimer again, I am working with this project, but I am really bullish. I'm going to invest in the token, and I really think it will do well. And in my opinion, when it comes to like multiples, obviously do your own due diligence and your own research. I really think that Tribal will probably 10 to 100x for me, in my opinion, from the circulating market cap of the 2.8 mil circulating market cap, which is the 27 mil FDV. And yeah, that's it, guys. I've got nothing else to show you, but like I said, I'm really bullish on base native projects, and my goal is just pretty much finding the number one projects of every niche. And when it comes to Tribally is sort of covering the SocialFi GameFi side of things when it comes to base native projects. There isn't really any other projects similar to this on the base chain network, and that's really that's one of the main reasons why I'm so bullish. There's not much competition in this area, and it's already pretty clear they have adoption. They've got a shit ton of users on the platform already. They're getting a lot of weekly bets. They have games plugged in, integrated, and partnered already, and it's more like the case of the product is already out now. You guys can log in and create the account on the website, and can see if you guys like really like the product and what they have built, and then purchase the token and obviously stake the token and earn the yield from gambling. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm really bullish. They've gone the build first, token later kind of route, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm quite bullish on it, and I really hope the team launches the token successfully. Obviously, there tends to be sometimes issues with day one kind of TGEs, but I'm confident in the team. I really like how they go with things, And yeah, that's the end of the video. If you like the video, like and subscribe. Comment down below if you want me to cover any other base native projects. I'm always reading through the comments. I try to reply to every single person. And I really like how you guys have been interacting. I really like how we've been growing this community. And that's it, guys. I guess the last thing is, yeah, the pre-sale link isn't down in the comments below. And that's it. So, see you guys.